So the next technology I want to show you is Remind. Used to be known as Remind 101. And Remind essentially allows you to send students, or probably in most of your cases parents, a text message. You can send it from your computer. It's a text message. You can send it from an app on your computer, or sorry, on your mobile device, and they get the text message. And you just send it to them all at once. Okay, but you can send it to individuals also. You can also put attachments on there and so on. So I'm going to click right here, and you're going to want to sign up, and then you'll want to log in. And when you log in, it should look something like this. You see your settings over here, and you should start to know this little cog right here as the settings icon. You'll notice once you create a class that you give it a class name. So if I wanted to call this one, AC or AX for 16, I can. Okay, but what you'll also see is that you get a class code that you'll share with students. And fortunately for me, based on the class code that I got, which maybe elementary kids wouldn't have much fun with, but I can assure you secondary kids would, you can change the class code. So you can change your class code to something more appropriate, like Dr. T. Oops, it logged me out. So bear with me a second. And so again, you can go up here to the settings, and you can change that if you like to something more appropriate. And then just hit save. Sure you want to change this code? Current participants won't be affected, but new participants must use this code. Yes. Okay, so it gives you a nice prompt there. So again, under the settings, you can change your class name and change the code. Okay, if you want to send messages, you just click right here. You type the message that you want in here. Students don't forget if you need to attach attachments, you can. You can also schedule announcements. By just clicking on this, you can schedule it. So maybe you set it up in the morning, but you don't want it to go out until later that afternoon. You can set those up. Okay, so great little tool here. And then you just hit send, and it sends that text message, and you can see it's got 86, it's got a count, so it is limited, but you can send that to them, and you can send it to as many as you want to. You can send it to as many, or you can send as many reminds as you want to. And that will go to the whole class. If you look up here where it has messages, you can also see that you can make a class announcement, you can set up groups, you can send to an individual in your class also. So it doesn't have to go always to the whole class. To create classes, you just go right here and click on the plus sign, create a class name. So we can MAT 615AX for 16. Again, you can change the class code. You can pick a school. Okay, you can see all these schools that are in here, not affiliated with the school, and just hit create. Okay, now what it gives you next is the instructions, okay, for how folks will join your class. And you can see you can give these in person. So if you were telling parents about this on open house night, you could just say, okay, you want to text this to this number. You can send an email. Okay, so you just put the name and the email in here. You can just share the link, okay, with them, and it will prompt them to join, and then you can add them. They'll request to join, and you can add them, or you can have PDFs here. So a number of ways that you can add them excuse me, that you can add them to your group. And then if we scroll down, you see the classes owned, and then you can also see the schools, and then you can also see the classes that you've joined here. Okay, so you can see I have a bunch because students just like you are going to ask me to join. And that's pretty much how Remind works. Settings, send messages here, send messages here. You can see what people that we have, or if we want to add people. Okay, you can see there's how you go to add them. Okay, set up activities. Okay, and then if we scroll up, there's how we create classes. So again, a very simple tool to use in your classroom. A lot of applications. You know, in a perfect world, yes, students would write information down in their agenda, or they would keep up with it, but they don't. And this is a great way for them to do the work, which is ultimately what we want them to do, to remember, to study for their test, or to complete their homework. And it's also a great way to communicate with parents and to collaborate with them, because that's the first step in collaborating with them, is communicating with them.